Whew, sure is rainy weather out today. But one might say it's perfect weather for a snapshot, and if they said that, I'd be inclined to agree with them, considering that we got the first Caves and Cliffs snapshot today. Yep, this is 20W45A, first cited on the bug tracker as an unreleased version, and just so happened to be that today's week is the 45th. So, I'm Trep, you are watching Mew Studios, and let's get right into the snapshot. The first thing added in this snapshot is copper. Copper is found as a new ore underground, and it can be mined with a pickaxe, and it comes out as the ore form. And of course it can be smelted in a blast furnace or a normal furnace. Blast furnace obviously smelting it at twice the speed. When it's smelted, you get copper ingots, and using the copper ingots you can do quite a few things. The first thing that you can do with copper ingots that I'm going to show you is making a lightning rod, which you saw Minecon Live if you watched that. These lightning rods can be used to attract lightning, and when a lightning rod is powered by lightning, it'll emit a redstone signal. They can also be hit with channeling tridents to have a strike of lightning. However, they won't be powered with redstone when hit by a channeling trident. I don't know if that's a bug or if that's intentional, but that is the case in the snapshot. But that's pretty much it for the lightning rod. So let's go to the other copper things that you can do, which is making these copper blocks. Now you craft them like you would any other ore block, using 9 of the respective material. That gives you a copper block. Now if you had 4 copper blocks and you crafted them in a 2x2, that would get you copper tiles. And they come in the normal, semi-weathered, partially weathered, and weathered variants. And of course these can all be mined and they drop as separate items, which can be a little bit cluttered, but is good because it means you can keep your weathered copper blocks and move them somewhere else. Now it does take 50 days for each state to pass, which is a decent amount of time in my opinion. It gives it some history, you know? And yeah, I think that's an ideal amount of time for me. And if here you can see all of the variants. The copper, of course you have the cut copper, there's the copper stairs, and the cut copper slabs. Now, using a honeycomb, you can wax the copper to stop it from oxidizing, or weathering, as it's called in the game. This wax copper, although I can't really show it as an example, won't oxidize over time. And yeah, as I said, you can mine any of these, and they make some really nice sounds when they're placed or broken or walked on even. Definitely one of my favorite parts of the update is the sounds. But let's clear this weather and move on to the next feature. These are candles. As you can see, they make some very nice footstep sounds, and they can be placed in all the colors as well as being placed up to 4 in a block. Now, you might notice that these candles aren't lit. How do you light them? Well, grab a flint and steel. It's actually pretty cool, and I like how it works, and they don't burn out like candles in real life would, but I think that's fine because it means you don't have to be constantly replacing your candles in any build. But yeah, you can light all the candles, and I'm just going to light all these, and obviously they emit light, a decent amount of it too. But how do you make them? Well, you're going to need a honeycomb for that. Grab 1 honeycomb and 1 string, and you'll be able to make a candle. Like so. Then, using any sort of dye, you can craft the candle with the said dye to color it. However, you cannot color a candle that has already been colored, as you can see here. Candles can also be placed underwater, however, they cannot be lit underwater for quite obvious reasons. And you can also put candles on a cake. Like so. You can only fit 1 on a cake, however. And once you start eating the cake, it will come off and you can light it, like so. But it appears that when clicking it, you'll actually duplicate a lot of candles, like a very large amount of candles. I mean, it's honestly a little bit insane. So, yeah, they should probably fix this. I'm not sure why this is being caused, but it's definitely quite an odd bug. Like, you right-click the cake and candles come spewing out. It's a little bit hilarious. But yeah, that is pretty much it for the candle feature. So let's just move on along to the next feature in the snapshot. The next feature here is geodes. Geodes are rarely found underground, and they're amethyst geodes, to be specific. Now, as you can see here, we have some new stone blocks that surround the geode, which I believe is tuff and calcite are the names of the blocks, as well as the crystals and the crystal blocks. Now, the crystal blocks and the crystal shards are pretty easily obtainable, and these are the different growth stages of the crystal as they grow on the block. As you can see here, there's this block which is budding amethyst, which cannot be tamed, similar to spawners. Even with Silk Touch, you won't be able to get it, but it does grow these crystals, and these crystals can be then obtained with Silk Touch and used on other things to decorate however you want. And as you can hear, it makes some very, very nice sounds in my opinion. I love the sound design here. Very good, very good. And you can use these for quite a few things. So, first one which you saw in Minecon is the telescope, which you'll need some copper and some amethyst for. You craft it pretty simply, just 2 copper on the bottom and then 1 amethyst on the top. That gets you a spyglass. And you can use this sort of like Optifine Zoom, but you just right click, and right now when you hold it idly, it does not have a unique holding position. However, if you were to use it, it does have this unique animation, which looks pretty cool in my opinion. Yeah, I like it a lot. Yeah, I just like how it looks, and it feels like a player is actually holding a spyglass rather than just, holding something up normally. And when you go into first person, it looks like this. I'm not a huge fan of the overlay. Doesn't really make sense since you don't really have an overlay on a normal spyglass in Minecraft. But it's not too big of a feature, so we'll just put it away for now, and we'll move on to the next thing, which is called tinted glass. This is quite a cool thing. Now, you might think it comes in different colors. It sounds a bit like stained glass, but no, it's just glass that's been darkened using amethyst, I would suppose, and pretty much the unique property of this is that you can see through it. However, it doesn't emit light through it. So as you can see, this torch in here is not emitting any light through the stained glass. Tinted glass, my bad. Now moving on, bundles are also in this snapshot, which are quite a cool feature and a really neat solution to inventory management. Simply right-click the items you want to put in the bundle, and it'll be installed. It can hold up to 64 items, except it can't hold more than a stack's worth of anything, so you can hold more than 16 ender pearls in a bundle. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't have the sort of rendering thing where it actually rendered the items as a picture, and I hope they keep that because that was one of my favorite parts of the bundle when they initially showed it at Minecon. So yeah, I do hope they keep that. But yeah, pretty easy, pretty simple to use. You can even put bundles inside of other bundles, but they do account for all the items inside of them. And you might be wondering, well, how do I craft a bundle? And it's pretty cool, because they actually use rabbit hide in this. And rabbit hide is a relatively unknown feature, but it is pretty much only used to make leather, I guess, a little bit easier to get. It's dropped from rabbits, and 4 of it will make a leather, but it's also the only way to make a bundle, as far as I know. But yeah, it gives a relatively nice use to a relatively unused feature. Next thing is pretty small. Lava buckets and cauldrons. They make a water noise for some reason. I assume that'll change. They also output a redstone signal of 1, which is kind of interesting. As you can see, it's lighting this lamp here. Another small feature, minecarts will now go underwater, although they work a little slower underwater. Quite cool. Definitely enjoy this. Could be useful for redstone contraptions for sure, as well as roller coasters. And then, one of the last features that I'm going to talk about here is that XP orbs will now merge together if there's enough of them in an area, and this is to reduce lag, of course, because, as we all know, XP orbs can cause a lot of lag. So we should be seeing them merging together, and I can definitely see a few merging together right now. And then, yeah, of course, not all of them will merge together. You'll still see all of them on the ground, and you'll still get the same amount of XP. It'll just be merged into larger orbs. And you still have this thing, which is kind of funny. And I'm glad that this isn't completely removed from the game as a whole. But that's pretty much it for the features, so now let's move on to the next section, which is the bugs in the snapshot, and you can already see one here. So as you can see here, shulker boxes are rendering really oddly, with the top half being too far separated. And also, the next bug is doing something really odd with nether generation. This last bug here makes forests in the nether treeless and foliageless too. It's a very strange sight, honestly. But yeah, I guess you can't have trees, you can't have shit in Detroit, man. And it also does something very strange to basalt deltas too, so if we head over there, you'll see that it's very strange. It flattens everything out. It's like, it's kind of undoing some of the stuff in the nether update. But yeah, basalt deltas look really weird. Just like flat plains of basalt and blackstone and mushrooms occasionally. Very odd. I'm not sure what messed it up here. But yeah, that is the end of this Me Studios video. So if you liked it, make sure to subscribe. And if you didn't, I guess you can leave a dislike. Hey, Trep here, after the video, and I just wanted to tell you that there is another feature on the official page that I forgot to mention. Supposedly, when a shulker shoots a shulker with a shulker bullet, it can create a third shulker. That's a lot of shulkers, but the bullet go hit shulker, make new baby shulker, or normal shulker. Anyways, I was testing this, I could not get it to work. I don't know if it's a very rare chance, but it's a cool idea for sure. And I hope it does work better in the future, because right now it seems to be really hard to get it to function properly. Anyways, let you finish the video now.